What's good? My name is Lina, and today we're going to be doing the my makeup type trend from TikTok. To put it in simple words, I just have to look up what my makeup type is, and then we're just going to go based off the first few videos, because from what I've seen on TikTok, they're usually around the same type. So let me bring you guys over here. So by looking up my makeup type,
if TikTok told you toasty makeup is your makeup type, this is the only tutorial you need to watch. Some people call it downtown girl makeup.
I'm gonna be honest, but this isn't the exact type that I got on TikTok when I was on the app, but I have them saved in one of my playlists. And I had saved the top videos from the actual app. We had this downtown girl kind of vibe. Then we had right here, this a woman you meet once on vacation. We have this glam beat sparkle. Then I also had this, which is again strong eyebrows, whether thin or thick like in this one. They're colored in, and a lot of people will call this toasty makeup, which I think is kind of accurate. So in all honesty, my makeup type counts as toasty makeup. One of the biggest problems with this though is the fact that I am unfortunately blue-eyed. Blessed with blue eyes. My ocean eyes. But I think we can still get something similar to it. So let's go. So we need to start with, of course, skincare. I've already washed my face, which I used the Dove Beauty Bar, and then I used an oil cleanser from Ginseng. And now we have to go in with my moisturizer. Here I've got the Advanced Nail 96 Mousse and Power Essence that I put on right before my moisturizer, which is just Nivea Soft Refreshing Soft Moisturizing Cream, which is meant for face, body, hands. I usually do 2 pumps of the essence, and I work it into my skin. I'm trying to be as gentle as possible as to not irritate my skin. And once you have it fully everywhere you want, which does include your neck, unfortunately, because makeup doesn't stop at just your face. I'm the type of person that doesn't really care about wrinkles or anything. Plus, I'm too young to care. I don't think it's really important in the end. I feel like it's privileged to even age at this point. So I think we should all take it slow, especially kids, especially people my age. And once you have skin prep done, you only have one step right before you put on like anything else, which is primer. I usually use this one. It's been in my other videos. This is from Catrice Cosmetics, which is a 10-in-1 Dream Primer. Claims are
priming, hydrating, anti-wrinkle, natural glow, anti-pollution, antioxidation, pore minimizing, evens out skin tone, blurs imperfections, UV protection, SPF 15.
Which of course is really good in its own sense. I don't have my sunscreen with me right now, so I won't be putting it on. But in general, just if you're going out with this makeup, please do. Doesn't even matter what the weather is like outside, please wear sunscreen. There's this rhetoric that I see a lot from people in my life where they don't think they have to wear sunscreen because they think they're invincible to skin cancer at that point. But I keep trying to push it in a way because I don't want my family and close people of mine to get skin cancer because of this. Just because you tan doesn't mean you're immune. It just means you don't burn in the sun. There's a little bit of tack to your skin now, and of course it does somewhat even out your skin tone, but that is not what we're looking for now. Let's start the very first step, which is underpainting. I usually use the Essence, I don't know what that says, but these are bronzing drops. They're hydrating and caring. I usually use these as both just a layer on my skin as well as a bit of contour, since it's already more of a cream product in a way. This isn't the best brush for it, but I also occasionally like to use my foundation brush, which is also, this isn't that good of a brush for it either, but I kind of haven't invested in any new brushes lately, so ignore that part. Work it into your hand, your canvas, which I've learned from a lot of TikTok makeup artists right here. But then you start with thin layer of the bronzing drops going all over your skin. I like to get the most bronzing in these areas right here. There we go. Now what I like to do to get that underpainting done is I like to use my most red color, which is I got this like a while ago, a few years ago off Yes Style, which is Ramen Glassing Water Tint. Shade number 2, Red Drops. I put some drops onto my hand, and because this is a skin tint, it might stay on your hand for a little bit. I work it into the brush, and then I dust it over my cheeks, going across from one side to the other, as well as getting it on my nose, a little bit on my forehead, and on my chin. I heard from a makeup artist on TikTok that a lot of people use red that you just saw from this tint, as underpainting, specifically for blush, because it is one of the most natural colors. Now we move on to the actual base, which I use the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in shade 105. Put it onto our hand. Do 1.5 pumps for now. Use your foundation brush or the one you used for the same bronzing if you don't have another one. And again, work it into the brush as much as you can. And now I like to go over my face in downward strokes. Since the hair is on your skin, which pretty much all of us have, it lays more straight and it creates more of a smoother look. I have combination skin, so usually the most oiliest part of my face is right here. So my skin is more acne prone there. I already have a little pimple right here on my nose, but I'm not the type to pop pimples, I just let them live. Another tip that I learned from a makeup artist online was to work some of the foundation on your ears, especially if your ears are going to be seen. Because when you're working a lot of foundation on your face, you have all the underpainting, your ears might look a lot brighter. With this makeup look done, I'm gonna be like looking for an outfit of some sort to wear this with for the final look. As a bigger and taller girly, which I am 5'9", and I usually need a size M or L as my top, depending on if I want it tight or not. But something I've learned recently is I really shouldn't worry about that type of stuff. It's not worth it, especially when you're this young, which I am 16. A lot of people have said I look older, which
that's not a compliment.
Not really a compliment.
I see issues there.
Once you have a pretty nice base, you can also go over the blush again if you would like it to be a bit more bold and more seen. But I'm gonna keep it like this for now, and if I want to, I'll go over it one more time. I also got one of these concealer palettes, which is used for color correcting. Finally learned how to use them. I can't find the brush that I usually use, but this one also works. So what I do is I take the red shade, and I have most of the darkness or dark circles in this part of my eye. I take the part where I got the red and gently pack it here. Once I have the red used up, I turn the brush a little and I use the green to cover up any redness, which I usually have from any acne or occasionally from my glasses. If you don't have a specific concealer you like to use, I also use the orangey shade right here. And I use it just like a concealer, but I do have my own. I like to use a mix of the Rival Loves Me Color Correcting Concealer. I'm pretty sure this is the brightest shade. And I mix it with the Catrice True Skin High Coverage Concealer. Mix those two together on my palette, which is my hand. Go in covering all the spots that I use the color correcting on. The reason why I'm not fully blending it out right now, you'll see in a moment. If there are any other big girlies out there who are pretty young, just like me, I need to remind you, it really doesn't matter. I'm someone that wants to be in the spotlight, whether that's because of trauma or whatever, but I like when people take notice of me. And the only reason I like it is because most of the time people have told me it's because of how kind I am. I don't care if someone calls me fat online or in real life, because yeah, no shit. You think I've never looked in the mirror before? I've used a lot of things to try and escape from that feeling. Whether it be makeup or any music or anything like that, but through that type of feeling, I had found a lot of passions that I like. You can use your fingers now if you want a more like skin-like finish. Other cases you can use a puff or something. I like to dab it in and basically make a mix with my skin. Ever since I finally finished middle school and I'm now in high school in Sassus, I feel like a different person. This whole summer I've spent doing everything I can to make this more enjoyable for myself. I've made clothing, I don't mean plural, man. I made one shirt, but I sewed and it took me 4 hours. I've written stories, I hung out with all my friends. I even planned a trip to Lithuania for my 2 best friends because I wanted to do something more adventurous. I wanted to look good, I wanted to take photos and post them. And for any other big girlies out there, big tall girlies with weird proportions, just do it. You think you look stupid, cringy, weird. In the end, who really cares? If there are people who are bothered enough to start texting you or telling you in real life you look bad, have their own worries to think about. And of course, yeah, it's obviously, you can get used to listening to that all the time and then not believing it in the end. But once you actually start to apply it, you'll feel much better. I'm gonna go over with the bronzing drops once more for a little more contour and maybe a little bit more blush. I wanted to get a bit more highlight here, so I'm gonna work in some more concealer. I'm gonna go in with the Rival Loves Me Loose Blur Powder. And because blur powder usually removes a lot of the shine, I like to go in with a setting spray, which is the Rival Loves Me setting spray. Now, while letting this dry, we're gonna get on to my eyebrows. I usually just use a brow mascara. This is the Rival Loves Me Tinted Eyebrow Gel. And up. I try to get as close to the original follicles as much as possible. My right eyebrow has always been kind of a hassle ever since I had that slit in my eyebrow for a while. Because this part of the hair has regrown, but obviously it's much different than the others, so it's always a hassle to fix. And excuse me for my impropriety, but these are not sisters, not even friends, not even cousins, nothing. They don't know each other, they're strangers. Now that our eyebrows are done, we have to move on to the eye makeup. I'm going to use this palette, which I've broken the lid off of, Rival de Loop Nude Matte Eyeshadow Palette. I'm going to be using these bottom 3, I'd say. I use a mix of all 3, and I'm gonna work it into my eyelids. Since I have deep set and also hooded eyes, I like to just work it all the way up to my brow bone. Because even if I had my eyes open and my eyebrows rested, you would not see them either way. I also put some eyeshadow on the bottom to kind of even it out. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of highlight. I'm gonna use the color correcting again, since it has a shade for the highlight. Go into the highlighter shade, and I'm gonna put it in my inner corners, on my eyebrow bone above and under the eyebrow, a little bit on the tip of my nose and in the bridge here, and also work some into my cheekbones. To use a bit from the Siesta palette that I've bought a while ago, I'm gonna use the more golden shade, and I just dropped a bunch of glitter that I really like, so that the actual highlighting isn't too silver and too cool tone compared to the rest of my face. We have to go in with the darkest brown shade that you have to offer, and we're going to work it into the eyelash line. And now this is where the magic happens. I'm going to use an eyeliner stick right here, which is the Rival Loves Me Long Lasting Eyeliner in the shade 04 Black. And this is where you work it into the eyeliner. Okay, I've recently read that it's not very safe, but for just one look, I'll do it. I already see a difference. I'm gonna take our liquid eyeliner and fill it all out. You can't make everything perfect, and I feel like that's something everyone needs to master, especially in anything you're trying to do. I just realized I don't have that rubber band thing on my eyelash curler. Guys, here we have the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. My mom also used this one, and I didn't steal it from her, but I stole the idea of having this from her. And for the last step is the lips. Got 3 shades here. I think I might go with the third one, which ignore how dirty this is, but it's the Catrice, the Scandalous Matte Lipstick, the shade Right Now. And to add a bit of dimension, I'm gonna use same lip tint. Now I'm gonna go get ready because we have to do the final look. So, see you there. Yeah, you're just like... Stop making fun of me, dude. I'm not making fun of you, it's just funny. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had a lot of fun finally doing my makeup after a while since I haven't made a video for like a few months. I was still in school at that time. But thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in another video, and bye!